That's why we say that I do understand that we are okay. Today is the very first day of September, so it's the beginning of the school year. That's why we decided that today it's good to talk about what makes teachers good teachers. Actually, it's a little bit tricky because first of all, we should ask students what teachers they find good teachers. And then answers may vary to the answers teachers can give to you, okay? And if you ask trainers, if you ask educators, if you ask politicians, okay, they will also have different ideas what makes teachers good teachers. So I would like to provide the discussion today, if you don't mind. If you have any questions, feel free. If you have any ideas about what makes teachers good teachers, just say it, okay? Raise your hand, show your face, because it is just the time for us to discuss. We discussed last year that it would be nice from time to time with webinars like today to give you teachers the chance to speak. It would be really great. Like with students, I think, I don't want to say rarely, but I think often, or maybe sometimes does it happen that teachers speak too much. And we should provide teachers talking time, good, but it should be limited. And we should provide our students with students talking time. And that's why today at the beginning, I said, no, I don't want to be the one who speaks all the time. I want you to say something. Of course, you don't have to, because you are, I don't know, wherever, you can just listen to me and my friend. But when you are in the classroom, you have to do everything to make your students speak. Okay, so we ask questions. Students know that they have to answer your questions. So if you start with very simple questions, it doesn't matter. Even, I don't know, Lucia, do you remember what was the first question I asked you today, or you asked me today? Do you remember?
No
okay,
idea.
Even we don't remember. Okay, so I think very simple questions we forget. Let's say, okay, how are you today? I think it's the easiest question we can ask. Okay, so when you enter as a teacher, when you enter the classroom, okay, and you see a few students talking, don't shout to them. You can approach them and you can say, hello, how are you? Even if there is still the break. You don't have to go to your desk at once. You don't have to sit there and wait for the bell to tell you and your students that it is time to start the lesson. It is good to approach your students, okay? And just speaking. You can use Polish or you can use English, and preferably you should use English because it's better for your students. If you keep asking them, how are you today? They will not remember that at the beginning of the lesson you asked that question. Like we today, we have no idea what questions we asked, but still, they were the questions. How was your holiday? How are you feeling today? There are the questions, okay? So unconsciously, we will ask the questions. When we ask the questions, our students will also ask the questions, maybe to their friends, okay? I know that we have people from different parts of the world, okay? But in your classroom, you have students from different parts of the city, from different places, okay? Maybe not from countries. You should be very interested in where your students come from. You should be very interested in personal problems, personal issues of your students. You should try to know your students as much as possible, okay? I know that you don't have to answer my questions, but if you enter the classroom with your students, you start with asking them, what's your name? How old are you? Where do you live? And you keep asking the questions as long as you know where they come from and peer friends know where each of them comes from. It's really nice. Okay, we can now spend some time asking you questions. I have seen hello from Georgia. I have seen hello from Poland. Okay, so can you now write hello from the place where you are? Okay, so I can write hello from Poland. Hello from Poland. So we will know where we are from, Poland. Okay, hello from Hungary. Hello from Poland, Gliwice, okay? Great, hello from Hungary. Hello from Poland. Okay, so, okay, hello from, okay, do we have some other? Okay, it's nice, really, really nice. Okay, oh, Jaworzno, hello from Poland. Jaworzno, yeah, hello, hello. Nice to have you all here. Okay, and when we know some personal things, oh, from Bangladesh, hello. When we know some personal information about our students, when students know personal information about each other, one another, then they like us, I mean teachers, they like each other or one another much better, and they know that I like them. Okay, of course, there cannot be too personal questions, okay, and sometimes we may have problems, but it is good to ask personal questions. But we teachers ask questions, but there should be the time during a lesson, maybe every second lesson, whenever. Okay, you can even organize it once a month when students can ask you the questions. Okay, so when you ask them, do you have a mother? You should expect your students, and you should be willing to answer the question if they ask you if you have a mother. The only question I don't like answering is when they ask me about my age. That's the only question. So you can say, never ask about my age. So then, okay, yeah, why? Because then they will know some personal things about you, but because we teach English, we want them to learn English. So when you sit in the middle and you make them ask you questions one by one, they would like to find out as many information as possible about your life after school or beyond the school, beyond whatever, okay, about your hobbies. And then they may find out that you are not only a teacher, but you are a human being. Believe me or not, very often students think that a teacher is a teacher, but they don't find a teacher a human being. So we should make our students know that we are just people. Okay, so it means that we can make mistakes. Okay, it means that we may have problems with our voice. We may have problems with health generally. Oh, like Lucyna, you said today, okay, there was something wrong. I had an accident. Okay, sometimes students find us cyborgs. Okay, machines. Okay, no, we are not machines. We are also human beings. Okay, so we may have a bad day, but if you want your students to respect your bad day, if you want your students to respect your problems with health problems, even with the voice, you should also respect their bad feeling, their bad day. Okay, so if you ask a student, how are you feeling? And they say, not that well. Oh, you may say, okay, so maybe today you will not have to answer my questions. Okay, you can, but if you don't want, you don't have to. Okay, and then they, oh, she's great, I don't have to. Okay, of course they cannot overuse it. Okay, you have to know, you have to control it. Okay, but from time to time, if you show them that they may feel not that well, okay, when the moment comes you don't feel that well, they will know, okay, so maybe today, teacher, you can sit, we will make you coffee. We will sit quietly. Okay, is it bad? No, it's not. It's okay. Okay, I love the idea. Okay, so why not? Okay, so in the eyes of our students, we should be human beings, but we should also respect our students, and we should know that they are also human beings. Of course, it cannot happen that every lesson there is still the same person who comes to you and says, I'm not feeling well, I haven't prepared anything, and say, no, okay, no, you cannot do it, okay? So respect means something different, okay? So good teachers are teachers who are respected, and good teachers are those who respect their students. It's very, very important, okay? Good teachers make limits, but the limits can be sometimes a little bit more flexible or not that straight, okay? So how to do it? At the beginning of the school year, we always discuss the rules, like how many quizzes we can organize, how many times they can come unprepared, how many tests, etc., etc. You know the rules, okay? But if you make the rules too strict for your students, they will not manage to respect the rules, okay? So then it is good, okay, we can have between 2 and 5, let's say, quizzes during a term. We can have between, or you can be unprepared once, twice, or maybe 3 times, okay, during the first term, etc., etc. Okay, so it is good when you make the limits, but as I said, not the strict ones, okay? But then, of course, you have to discuss the rules with your students, okay? The homework, the pieces of homework, number of exercises, okay, tests, etc., etc. How many times they can revise? They should have the voice in the discussion, okay? But it is good to say that these are the rules for the first term. At the end of the first term, we will come back to the rules and we will discuss if they have worked, if we have managed to respect all of them, if we have managed to write that many number of tests, etc., etc. Okay, and then if there is something wrong, we can discuss the rules again. I think it's great because then students know, okay, I may not like something, we may not like something, we teachers may not like something, and then we can come back to changing the rules, okay? So I don't like the idea when teachers say, okay, here, now, this, that, no discussion. I don't like it, okay? Even with small kids, you can say, you cannot tell your students you can do what you want. No. But you can say, okay, I have got 5 pieces of exercises for your homework. How many exercises would you like to get? Of course, they will say 1 and say, no, let's discuss. Okay, if not 5, maybe 4. They say, no, let's discuss. If no 1, maybe 2. Okay, so you may agree because you are a teacher, so your voice is the last voice. Okay, you may say, okay, 2, or you may say, okay, 1 extra for those who want to get a good marks, or 3. Of course, at the beginning, you knew that you wanted your students to complete 1 or 2 exercises, okay? But it is always good to start with 5, because if you tell them I have just 1 exercise, they will say, oh, 0. I say, no discussion, just 1. 0 is not a number, okay? So it's better to start with 5, and then, of course, you will end with the number you want your students to complete. So it is also good. So putting students or making students have a chance to discuss things with you, it's also a good idea. And it is also a point on the list, what makes teachers good teachers. Negotiation space with our student must be big enough. Yes, I think yes. As long as it is done in English. That's what I love, okay? If you want to discuss, do it in English. Okay, and they will try, they will really try, because if they say nothing, you will give them 5 exercises. Okay, if you want fewer, you have to say it in English. Of course, with children, you will have to teach them, I would like to have 1 exercise, I would like to have 2 exercises, etc. But so they will repeat. So drilling is a good method, but you say the same sentence, they are trying to repeat, and other students are listening. Maybe next time you will not have to say, I would like to have 1. Maybe there will be a student who will say, I would like to have 1 exercise. Okay, so So it's really nice, and this is the way how we involve students in speaking, in using English without, unconsciously, I would rather say, okay, without even thinking. Yeah, so it is really nice. Okay, so yeah, discussing with students different things. When you work with adults, it's easier because they are not that, maybe they are ashamed when they are to speak English, but they are not afraid of telling you that they just want one exercise. Okay, so they know why they are here, why they want classes with you, what they want. And if you want something extra from adults, you always have to tell them why. Yeah, they say, okay, I just want to speak. And you say, okay, but you have to listen. No, I just want to talk to you. I need nothing. I don't want grammar. So you have to explain why they need grammar to make sentences. Okay, you have to show them that if they want to talk, for example, about their hobbies, they need present simple. Okay, you have to explain why. Very often teenagers do also ask such questions, okay? But it is much easier to explain things to teenagers because they follow different strategies, I mean learning strategies, and they really don't know what is good for them. Okay, of course, they know that not learning is good for them. Okay, that's the only thing. Okay, but if they are at school, they know that they have to follow the teachers, the roles of the teachers. And so when we teach adults, to be a good teacher to them, you should always have an argument for an exercise you are giving to them. I don't want to read about the text about Chinese wall. Okay, oh, what is your answer? Okay, you can say, okay, but maybe blah, 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 blah. You have to be prepared for such questions. You cannot get offended. They may not like it. So if you find a good argument why to read about Chinese wall, it's good for you. But if you cannot find an argument, you should have another text to be prepared. I don't know if I have ever told you, but I call a teacher a queen of bags. I don't know, that's my expression. Okay, so because we have got we should have a lot of different material. That's now it's good because there are computers, and in computers we have a lot of things. Okay, so we can change exercises, we can find a lot of things in the computer. There is internet, so there is always a lot we can find there. But we also carry a lot of bags in which we have got copies. Okay, why? Because teachers are flexible. Good teachers know how to be flexible. Good teachers know how not to get offended when students don't want to do an exercise. Let's imagine the situation. Students have entered your classes after 3 or 2 hours of physical education. They have been running for 2 hours. How can they work with you? Really? If you put the listening, they will just fall asleep. Okay, so you should, and you wanted them to do the listening, you have a plan. Okay, but you have to be flexible enough to change the activities, to change everything. Okay, just to change the plan of the lesson. Okay, so be flexible. And I mentioned planning. Planning is also important. Maybe you don't remember, but when I was a very young teacher, I remember that we had to write the plan, a very detailed plan of every lesson. Of course, at the beginning, I wanted to stick to the plan, okay? And I wanted to do everything. Now I know that the plan is to know what should follow what, and the plan is something we can come to. It is a safe thing for us, but we can make changes. Okay, but first make a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you don't know what to change, and you don't know how to change, and you don't know if you are flexible enough to be called a good teacher. So it is good to have a plan, and it is good to be flexible enough and to change the plan. Okay, but changing the plan shouldn't happen very often. There should be a routine. It is also what makes teachers good teachers. We also have the routine, Lucina, you may also say, just at the beginning, we have a small chat, and then we discuss IATEFL issues because it's very important. The webinar is sponsored by IATEFL. Okay, and we have the routine. So people who are joining us, listen to us, know something more about IATEFL, and have a chance to maybe make some tea, make some coffee, get involved into the discussion. Yes, so the routine is really good. And we know that at the end of the lesson, we will welcome students to another webinar. So that's the routine. What is inside is completely different. Every webinar is completely different because we change trainers, or we invite new trainers. As Lucina said, that there is somebody new. Okay, so it's really fantastic. Okay, we should see new faces. Okay, and taking into consideration new faces, it's really not easy to be a new teacher every lesson. Okay, so when we have too many years with one group, they may got to us so much that they will not, I don't want to say that they will not respect us, but they will not be that interested in the lesson. They will not be that engaged in the lesson because they know you too well. So you have to change something. That's why very often does it happen that teachers dress up. Okay, they pretend to be a completely different person. Very often does it happen that teachers invite somebody to the class. It's really, really good. Very often does it happen that teachers play a webinar, or they join via the internet with a teacher who is wherever, okay, to show students a completely different face, because then we make students be motivated. That's also another point, what makes a good teacher, knowing how to keep students interested all the time and motivated. It's not easy. Very often, when teachers are not motivated, students will not be motivated. So to make students be motivated, teachers should show that I love you, my students. I love teaching. I love the exercises. I love the texts, even about Chinese wall. Okay, I love the songs. I love everything. Okay, so they should know that very often teachers pretend. Okay, but you should show the interest. And you should also, again, I will come to the personal things, you should be interested in what is happening with your students. Okay, they should know that you know what is behind every lesson, what is behind the mind of every student. It's not easy, but you should. Okay, show the interest to the progress they make, but show the interest in the hobbies they have outside the classroom. Just be interested in what they are doing. The more lessons, the more years you are with your students, the better you know them. Okay, so that's why it is good to have many years. But on the other hand, as I said, sometimes it's a routine and there is nothing interesting. So teachers are, again, 7B class, okay, they are still the same, only blah blah blah. And when you show such uninterest, or if you don't show enthusiasm, how can you make them be enthusiastic? Okay, so you should enter the classroom. I very often call good teachers good actors. Our problems should be left behind. I know that they should also see that we don't feel that well, but we shouldn't, our personal problems shouldn't influence the way we teach and shouldn't influence our attitude towards our students, okay? Do you love all your students? You can write the answer, of course not. It's impossible, but do your students know that you don't like some of them, that you don't like any of them? No. Oh, I have a big problem memorizing the names of my students. What are your suggestions? Okay. Oh, and yeah, I will tell you. The one is I have a very nice thing to some exercises. Okay. In a moment, I will talk about it. Okay. Yeah, but coming what I have already. I don't know what I missed. I have a big problem memorizing. Okay, Lucina, what have I said already before I read the? I don't remember.
that we should pay attention to our students, what their interests are, and so on.
And that we are good actors. Good teachers are good actors, okay? Even if you don't like a student, you should show your interest to that student, okay? You just cannot do it, okay? You should. There is always like that. When there is a piece students are to write, when we discuss it, we always first say good things, okay? Something or a good thing, some extra, okay? Excellent, nice that you have found time to write as many things you have mentioned, a lot of ideas, okay? Maybe you should work more about grammar. What I don't like when teachers point to every mistake, when teachers discuss every mistake. Enough when you tell them some more work with vocabulary, some more work with grammar is needed here. Enough. Of course, when they get the piece, they can see all the mistakes, but it is enough to say one big thing. If you can tell every student you should work, you should do, or you should cover more grammar exercises. It's good for everyone, okay? But you should start with something really extra that you like, praise your students, and then, okay? We do remember about rewarding children, but we do forget praising and rewarding teenagers or grown-up people. They also need to be rewarded. Oh, you have done the exercises I asked you as your homework. Oh my God, you have read the text at home. Oh my God, you are really, really occupied. You have so many things to do. I know that you work and I know that you study. So I'm really happy that you have done the exercises. Like with you here, it's Friday, it's 6:30 on Friday. A lot of people are now in cafes, preparing to go to clubs, whatever. And you have found time to come here. Okay, so it's really, really, really great. So when you praise, just one sentence, you speak English. That's the most important thing, okay? They can listen to you speaking English and they feel, oh my God, she loves us. She respects us. She says, oh my God, you are here, okay? Talking, were distressed, I didn't want to talk. Yeah, that's true, Lucyna, that when we correct too many mistakes, then students will not want to write, okay? Students don't like writing, but I do make my students write every lesson. When there are questions at the end of the lesson, which we discuss, okay, I ask them to discuss in pairs, then in groups, then with the whole class, okay, the same questions over and over again. And I always ask them to write the answers. Why? When they write, I don't know, 2-3 sentences every lesson, the moment comes that they have to write a longer piece. Okay, I mean 10 sentences, 11 sentences, okay? But it will not be that big problem, okay? Because 3, 4, 5, okay, 10 can be, no problems. But if they write nothing, the moment comes they have to write an email with using, I don't know, 10 sentences, they say, oh my God, too long, too much, okay? So it is also one of the solution to the problems, okay? You know your students better, and then you know what works with them, okay? So that's why I started that you should know your students, then you know what to do with them. Taking into consideration the names, first of all, you should count, you should calculate how many students you have. How many students you meet every week. I remember when I started teaching, I remembered all the names. Then the moment came, I said, oh my God, I don't remember. But then I really counted that within 1 week, I met 800 students. So it was impossible to remember all the names, okay? Hopefully you will not have that many. But when you work at the university, then you have 100 students at your lectures. So it's really, of course, I do remember some, okay? But when you work with with classes up to 30 students, okay? I don't know, 5 classes a week, and you meet them 4 or 5 times, then you should remember. I know that up to 200 a week you can remember, because I still remember the names of my students that I met 20 years ago, and I have the proof for that, because last week I decided to buy a flat, and it appeared that the flat was sold by a student of mine who was my student 20 years ago. And when she entered the room, okay, she called my name and she said, "Do you remember me?" Okay, I said, "Okay, Ania Budzyńska, I know." And she said, "Yes, you remember my name?" I said, "Yes, I know." Okay. So it's really true. But when at the moment I started working with 1,000 students a week, 800, no, it's really impossible. Okay, but how to learn? It is good when students sit in the same classroom in the same way. So then you remember. So it is good when there is a very first lesson to tell your students, okay, please, when you come next time, can you sit, I mean at the beginning, can you sit in the same rows as you are sitting, at the same desk as you are sitting today? Okay, because then because they are also new for one another and they are new for you, so it is also one of the ways. Okay, of course I'm sometimes joking and I tell my students, okay, next time sit at the same desk and wear the same clothes, then I will remember you. Okay, I'm joking and they ha ha he he. Okay, but then next time you can ask them, you can remember one of the person's clothes and you say, okay, Bartek, I remember that last time you were wearing blue jeans or whatever. Okay, they will not remember. Okay, but you may say so. Okay, they say yes. I said yes, really. Or you can take a picture of your students, and next time when they enter the classroom, you can ask them to sit at the same desks, and you can ask them what they were wearing. But of course, during the previous lesson, you have to tell them that they will sit at the same desk and they should try to remember what they are wearing, okay? And then you can just recall the words, you can recall that, and then you check the photo. Okay, so it's also good. Okay, it's one of the names, because when we associate a name with something, like with pieces of clothes, then it will be easier to remember for you. Another very good exercise. Okay, we are talking about that's the idea of being a good teacher. Good teachers are prepared to every question, and good teachers can answer every question of your students. Like, for example, now you want to know how to learn the names. Okay, so I can change the plan. I wasn't to talk about it, but it's okay. I enter the classroom and I ask the first one person who is sitting on the left, and I ask the person to say the name and give 2 adjectives that describe the person. The second person is to repeat the name and the 2 adjectives. The third and adds his or her. The third person says the name of the first person and the adjectives, the name of the second person and the adjectives, etc., etc., etc. The last person is the teacher, who is trying to say the name and 2 adjectives, the name and the adjectives. Okay, of course, students are pretending that they don't know the names, etc., etc. Okay, but it is also good to ask students, please, next time try to sit at the same desk. Then you will remember better. Really, really. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I have answered your question, but I think yes, it is. Maybe you have got some other ideas. Okay, so motivation, planning. Sorry, I have the plan, so okay, I also have because I have a lot of things to say. And the material, we have already started. The teacher should be prepared, should have so many things to show, so many things to discuss, that will never have, I don't know, a space to do nothing, to do nothing. Okay. Sometimes I remember once I took a wrong bag from my car when I entered the class, there was a long way to the car, so I didn't go to the car. I used the materials which are here. So for example, and the teacher should never tell students that he or she is unprepared. You should, even if you are not prepared, you should pretend that you are prepared. That's why I said that teachers are good actors, or good teachers are good actors, okay? So, for example, let's imagine that you are working with teenagers, or you are working with secondary school students, or you are working with grown-up people, but in your bag, there are just flashcards, which are supposed to be used when you work with kids. What can you do with flashcards with teenagers or grown-up people? A lot, okay? Because you can put them into groups. You can ask them to choose 5, 7, the number depends on you, flashcards, and you can make them to make a story with the use of the words presented in flashcards. Is it okay? Yes. Even if you have got mommy, daddy, children, very simple words, okay? Even if you have sunny, windy, whatever the words, even if you have colors, you can make them make a story with whatever the flashcards. It's not very difficult, okay? So don't be afraid using things of teaching aids which are supposed to be used with kids when you work with teenagers. Flashcards are colorful. It is also good when grown-up people see colorful things. Okay, another exercise with flashcards. In flashcards, there are some stories behind, we can say. Okay, so I don't know. Let's imagine that there is a flashcard with a person washing his creativity, yes, washing his hands. Okay, so you can ask what is happening in the picture. They are describing the situation, and then you ask, what is the person going to do next? Okay, what has happened before? What could have happened? What must have happened? Okay, so you can employ really difficult, really advanced grammar structures, still with the use of a flashcard, which is supposed to be used for kids. And the best idea is that, as you said, one of the points, good teachers are creative. Creativity, I think, is maybe the middle name of a teacher. Okay, so Urszula, creativity, okay, whatever. Okay, so it is just the middle name. Okay, so every teacher should be creative, and we are creative. How do we become creative? It is not that we are born with creativity. No, no, no. We take things from other people. When we are children, we learn from parents. We learn from grandparents. Oh, and never give up. In the kindergarten, we learn from teachers, okay? And later on, PS, blah, blah, blah. And when we are teachers, we learn from other teachers. That's what I love, that teachers should share their experience, their knowledge, their teaching tools, their ideas. Good teachers are not afraid that other teachers will say, oh, it is a bad idea. No, every idea is a good idea, as long as it works with your students. Some of you have probably seen a few webinars of mine, okay? I always share some ideas I have worked out with my students, some exercises I have done with my students, okay? Of course, it may happen that they work with one group, they may not work with other, but as long as you don't check it, you will never know, okay? So every idea is a good idea. And I'm coming to the final point, that every teacher should be ready and should start being a presenter, being a speaker, being a person who provides workshops. Every teacher, every good teacher has got a lot of things to share with other teachers. Unfortunately, very often does it happen that teachers are afraid of the language, because I am not an English person, so I am Polish. person who speaks English. Okay, so oh, some other teachers may say that my English is not a good English. Yeah, so I know that very often teachers are afraid of that idea. I know that bad teachers may just now even write mistakes I have already made. Okay, but they are bad teachers. They are not good teachers. Good teachers may come to me after the webinar or may write to me, okay, you said instead of decisive, you said something different. Instead of creative or creativity, you said whatever. I will never get offended. I will think, okay, maybe I should have improved my English. Everybody is to improve English, even English people, because sometimes they forget about a third conditional. Please ask English people if they know mixed conditionals. We know mixed conditionals, they cannot use them, okay? But of course, we may have problems speaking. I am a Polish person, so you can hear that it is not an English, a British pronunciation. Of course, I would love to sound a queen, okay, but I cannot because I am a Polish person, so it's okay. Yeah, so don't be afraid. A good teacher shouldn't be ashamed. A good teacher shouldn't be afraid. A good teacher should try to show, when you show your ideas and you know that, and some teachers after the webinar may say, okay, I would like to use this exercise, or when we meet, yes, I used the exercise you showed, okay, I'm always doing this or that. Sometimes, really, maybe not sometimes, often, I get on messages with some pictures on my messenger that I used the idea of yours. Look, my students did this or that, okay? Not 100% of ideas I have given to you, but a lot. And then when you start, that happened to me. When you start presenting, when you start providing workshops and you see that students, that teachers find your ideas really helpful, your ideas really good, your ideas worth discussing, mentioning, etc., then you even become better teacher because you are trying to look for new ideas. So you go to webinars of other teachers, of other educators, you go to conferences, okay? You go to places where you can meet teachers. You are not afraid. You are not afraid of asking them questions. You are not afraid of presenting, and you are not afraid of taking the ideas of theirs. Yeah, I don't know if you agree with me, but it is not that I don't want to be a speaker anymore, but still I think that we need new speakers, and we really like new young teachers to come and present for the first time. Okay, the first time is always the one which is very difficult. What I do, nobody did it with me, but what I have done with my colleagues, Lucyna can say, when my friends, when they come to the conference for the first time, and they are speakers, they are co-speaker with me. I am with them. Okay, so a team, and then it's easier because I may say that I am a little bit more experienced. I'm not that much afraid. So when they start speaking and I see that they don't know what to do, then I take the part, okay? So when you are afraid of being an individual speaker, please come with your friend, okay? And you can, you have a plan and you can say, okay, one exercise is yours, the second is mine, the third is yours, etc., okay? And then it will be much easier, okay? And what I have done when I was the presenter for the first time, and I don't know, if you remember, 1993, okay, that there is a picture in the album, okay? I took as the audience my friends, because I always ask questions, and I knew that my friends would clap hands, would be involved in what I wanted them to do, okay? So please come with your friends and make your friends your audience, okay? And then you will not be that hesitant, you will not be that much afraid or thrilled, okay? So, and everything, and believe me or not, everything will go smoothly because teachers, good teachers, who come to conferences, who come to webinars, who watch webinars, who come to workshops, are not there to tell you what wrong things you have done, what wrong things you have said. They are there to take something from you. They are there to clap your hands. Okay, so good teachers are really good people generally. Okay, and I think it's that's okay. Yeah, and the person who is not a good person will not be a good teacher. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Oh my God, it's psychology behind what I have already said. Yes. Okay. As usual, 10 minutes before the schedule end, I'm there. Please find. Okay. You are a magician. You have so many. Oh my God, have you seen it? Oh my God, a big fan.
Yeah,
So I think that
I've
we
seen
have
it.
got. Yeah, I think I can just take a photo of it if you don't mind. Okay, a magician. Okay, so I think, sorry, it is not on my list here, but I think so. A good teacher is a magician. Okay, yeah, you have so many fruitful tips and tricks. I'm truly learning a lot. I'm going to be a big fan. Yeah, so I think that our Pita, I don't know if I'm calling the name correctly. Okay, is the person who is the first time here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and always at the beginning of the lesson, the last tip, at the beginning of the lesson, tell your students what they are going to learn, what you want them to do. You may say that you have more exercises that actually they can complete. And at the end of the lesson, always ask your student which exercise they like, which exercise they don't like. It doesn't mean that they say that they don't like you. But if they say that they don't like a particular exercise, it may mean that they have problems writing, understanding with words, with whatever, okay? So you can think, it is a kind of a feedback, very quick feedback. You give marks to your students, so that is also a kind of feedback to your students, okay? But always ask students which exercise they like and which exercise they don't like. Not maybe when they are very young, I mean children, they cannot say why, okay? It's boring. But then you may also discuss it next time. You can discuss the exercise with teenagers, for example, or with grown-up students. You can say, okay, for example, five people last time told me that they didn't like, I don't know, a writing piece or listening, Chinese wall, sorry, about talking about it, okay? So can you tell me why? Can we think maybe there are some topics, there are some other topics you want to discuss, okay? So please come back, okay? And don't tell your students, oh, I don't like you, that you don't like the exercises. No, never, okay? Because then you teach your students that they also can have an opinion. Okay, of course, they can say that they don't like, but they cannot offend you. Oh, you are stupid. This exercise is stupid. It's not a good argument. Okay, they may find the exercise stupid because they have problems with the exercise. Okay, so be careful about it. Okay, I must tell you that for me, the most important feature of a teacher is that to show students that you love them, and to show students that you love the subject. We also teach them diplomacy. Yes, of course, okay? We teach them how to argument, not to offend anyone, okay? So it's great. That's why there are some topics we don't discuss with students, okay? When you love your students, when you love what you do, when teaching is your passion, children can feel that, and grown-up people will see that. Oh, you are always smiling, even if you don't feel that well, okay? And even if you don't feel that well, okay, I'm sorry, students, but today, okay, for example, my cat died yesterday, okay? So you can tell your students that, okay? But when they can discuss private things with you, honesty, you can also share private things with them, okay? So I think that's great. So love your students, okay? Okay, so 5 minutes left, so I should ask for the feedback. I think I can ask a question. How many tips or how many features of a good teacher have I discussed, or have we discussed? I don't know if you can answer. I have in my plan here, so I can calculate, okay? Yes, that's true, of course, many. And I know, Yasha, that you can ask many more, okay, depending on the level, depending on the age of your students, okay. But when you are nice, when you are helpful, your students will love you. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, what? Yeah, okay. Any ideas? Any questions? Any points and features of the character
I see that
that is needed?
everybody apart from me and you is muted. You can unmute yourselves. That was very good of you that you muted yourselves, because this way you didn't disturb Ula. Sometimes there are some problems with microphones, yes, and there may be some buzzes. So I, as the organizer, really appreciate this fact, but right now, speak up.
If you don't mind showing your faces, it would be great.
Yeah, that we could take a photo of all of us, and then I could attach it in the chat box.
Okay, we can also, you can also say something, some ideas of yours. Okay, yeah, maybe no.
No
you can
ideas.
Write something. No, nothing, no ideas, nothing in the chat box. Did you like the webinar like today? A little bit different, okay, without any presentations, just the discussion, because it's a new kind of a webinar which we want. We would like teachers to join into the discussion, lecture style. Thank you.
Yes, very difficult for you. Yes, it's very difficult for you.
Yes. With the presentation,
just to control this content that is at the back of your head.
Yeah. Many tips. It was great to take part. I love the pragmatic approach. Yes, of course. Yeah, really. Yeah. From time to time, I do also provide more theoretical webinars, like okay, to revise the knowledge from your studies, like learning styles, learning strategies, whatever methodology. Okay, it's good, but we always share it with practical things. Okay, yeah. Okay, so okay, if you find the webinar interesting, I think that it's good. So I think you will start the school year with flying colors, and you will finish it with flying colors. It would be nice to have you all at my webinars, at all IATEFL webinars, and of course, probably at the conference. In November, I'm going to France. There is nobody from France here. So, but maybe next time somebody will come. Maybe I'm not going to Bangladesh this year. Sorry. Yeah. But of course, you are warmly welcome to our IATEFL annual conference, Lucyna. And
yes, as said at the beginning, more than welcome. Ula will be there as usual, inspiring us with her whole activity.
Live lesson. I will provide a lesson as well. I have a talk and I have got a lesson with students I don't know. Okay, that's good. Challenge. Oh, właśnie, challenges as well should be also put on the list. That good teachers love challenges. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's all from me. If you don't have any questions, if you don't have any ideas,
I will stop recording.